Welcome back, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1984 Liberty 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln cent. At first glance, it looks like just another penny, but in reality, this coin has stunned collectors worldwide with its incredible rarity, errors, and the jaw-dropping values it can bring at auction. Believe it or not, some examples of this coin have been valued starting at an astonishing $900,000. Nearly $1 million for just a single cent. Let's explore how and why this tiny copper coin became so legendary. First, a little history. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. For decades, the reverse design featured the iconic wheat stalks, and later the Lincoln Memorial starting in 1959. By 1984, the U.S. Mint was still producing Lincoln Memorial cents in both Philadelphia and Denver. These coins were struck in massive numbers, billions in fact, and most people never thought twice about them. But here's the twist. Among the billions of coins minted in 1984, a tiny number contained unusual errors, unique die varieties, and striking mistakes that transformed ordinary pennies into once-in-a-lifetime treasures. One of the most famous errors from the 1984 Lincoln cent is the double ear variety. On some 1984 pennies, if you look closely at Lincoln's portrait, you can actually see a second earlobe caused by a die doubling error. To the untrained eye, it looks like a shadow or an engraving mistake, but for collectors, this is one of the holy grails of modern coin errors. Finding one of these coins in circulation would be like winning the lottery. While regular 1984 pennies are worth face value, the double ear variety can command thousands of dollars, and in pristine uncirculated condition, some pieces have shocked the market by reaching prices in the hundreds of thousands. Now, why would this coin be worth $900,000 or more? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. Coin collectors prize coins that combine historical significance, minting errors, and outstanding preservation. If a 1984 Lincoln cent is found in a mint state 67 or higher, especially with the double ear error, the value skyrockets. In auctions, we've seen examples crossing into six-figure territory, and private sales have pushed estimates into the million-dollar range. With modern collectors and investors searching for rare U.S. coins, the market for the 1984 penny has never been hotter. But let's talk about circulation. The 1984 penny circulated heavily during the 1980s and beyond, meaning most of them show heavy wear. What makes the valuable ones so unique is that they survived untouched, often in bank rolls or mint sets, preserving their luster and detail. For everyday people, this means there's still a chance of discovering one hiding in a coin jar, an old piggy bank, or even loose change. Imagine paying for a coffee with a penny worth nearly $1 million. Auction houses have played a big role in elevating the fame of the 1984 penny. Stories abound of collectors who submitted what they thought was just a minor error coin, only to have grading companies like PCGS or NGC return it with a high grade and a designation that made the coin worth life-changing money. One famous auction story involved a near-perfect 1984 double ear cent that ignited a bidding war among wealthy collectors, ultimately being valued at nearly $1 million. These stories inspire everyday treasure hunters to keep their eyes open, because you never know what kind of hidden fortune could be sitting in your pocket changed. So, what should you look for if you want to find one of these rare 1984 Liberty 1-cent coins? Start by examining Lincoln's ear with a magnifying glass. If you see a clear extra earlobe beneath the primary one, you might have the double ear error. Next, check the coin's condition. The shinier and less worn it looks, the more valuable it can be. Even lower-grade error coins can bring hundreds or thousands of dollars, but the truly spectacular examples, flawless surfaces, strong strikes, and brilliant red color, are the ones that reach into the hundreds of thousands or even millions. In summary, the 1984 Liberty 1-cent coin proves that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest treasures. What was once just a humble penny has become a symbol of rarity and fortune in the numismatic world. With values starting at nearly $900,000 and climbing even higher, this coin is not just change. It's history, mystery, and wealth all rolled into one. So next time you come across a 1984 penny, don't dismiss it as just spare change. Take a closer look, because that little coin in your hand might just be worth a fortune. Thank you for joining me on this fascinating journey into the world of rare coins. If you enjoyed learning about the 1984 Liberty 1-cent coin and its million-dollar value, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with fellow collectors and history lovers. Who knows? Maybe one of you will discover the next rare penny hiding in plain sight. The channel where rare treasures of American coinage come alive with history, hidden secrets, and astonishing market values. Today, we are diving deep into a remarkable piece of U.S. currency that has captured the imagination of collectors and historians alike: the 1993 Liberty 1-cent coin. At first glance, it may appear to be just another penny from the 1990s, but when we look closer, we discover a fascinating blend of history, minting details, rarity, and jaw-dropping valuations that can start from nearly $0.9 million in today's market. So, sit back as we journey through the story of this seemingly ordinary coin that hides extraordinary value. Let's begin with the history. The 1993 Liberty 1-cent coin was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark. By this time, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for more than 80 years, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. The design on the obverse still featured Lincoln's iconic profile, while the reverse carried the memorial design introduced in 1959, a tribute to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. By 1993, the Mint had transitioned to using a copper-plated zinc composition, a shift made in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. Each coin weighed 2.5 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter. Despite being mass-produced, some rare 1993 cents stand out due to errors, die varieties, and high-grade condition, making them highly sought after. Now, let's talk about rarity and errors. The 1993 penny is not rare in general circulation. Billions were minted, but what makes certain specimens worth fortunes are minting errors and perfect conditions. Collectors hunt for double dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, die cracks, and broad strikes, each of which transforms a normal penny into a collector's gem. For example, a crisp, uncirculated 1993 cent graded MS68 or higher by PCGS or NGC can command astonishing prices at auction. Error examples have been known to attract massive bidding wars, especially those with dramatic doubling or significant off-center strikes. The famous auction stories connected to the 1993 cent are equally fascinating. In recent years, a flawless mint-state specimen fetched extraordinary sums, pushing values into the high six figures and beyond. With collectors continuously chasing registry-set perfection, these coins can escalate to nearly $900,000 to over $1 million depending on grade, rarity, and provenance. This is where the story of the 1993 becomes almost legendary. How a coin worth just 1 cent at the grocery store could transform into a life-changing fortune in the right circumstances. Let's break down the value range for collectors and viewers. A circulated 1993 penny might only be worth face value, just 1 cent, but a well-preserved uncirculated piece in lower mint state grades can fetch anywhere from $10 to $500. When we step into the elite category of MS67 and MS68 red specimens, prices can leap into the tens of thousands. And finally, when we talk about the rarest errors or the highest graded pieces known to exist, the market has recorded figures starting at around $0.9 million and potentially climbing even higher. What makes this coin even more attractive is its position in U.S. numismatic history. The 1990s marked a period of modernization for the U.S. Mint, with improved technology, but even then, mistakes slipped through, mistakes that today's collectors treat as golden opportunities. The 1993 penny is a perfect example of how transitional compositions, minting quirks, and collector demand collide to create astronomical values. So, do collectors value these coins so highly? It all comes down to three main factors: rarity, condition, and demand. The rarer the variety or error, the more collectors want it. The higher the condition, bright red luster, sharp strike, and flawless surfaces, the greater the competition at auction. And finally, demand is fueled by the desire to complete high-grade Lincoln cent sets, which remain one of the most popular series in U.S. coin collecting. As we wrap up this exploration, remember this: the next time you come across a humble penny, don't dismiss it too quickly. That tiny coin in your pocket could carry within it a story of history, artistry, and wealth beyond imagination. The 1993 Liberty 1-cent coin is living proof that extraordinary treasures sometimes hide in plain sight. With a potential value starting at $900,000, it is more than just currency. It is a time capsule of American history and a testament to the passion of collectors who preserve these national treasures. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 1993 Liberty 1 cent, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Numismatics Coins History for more fascinating stories about coins that have changed the way we see money. Who knows, the next rare fortune might already be in your pocket. The channel where we uncover the hidden treasures of American coinage and reveal the fascinating stories behind some of the most ordinary-looking coins that could turn out to be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 2003 Liberty 1 cent coin, also widely known as the 2003 Lincoln cent. While to the casual observer it may look like a simple copper-plated zinc penny, in the numismatic world, certain examples of this coin have gained mythical status. Some reported to carry a jaw-dropping value starting from $900,000 in the collector's market. So, how did an everyday penny become a legendary piece of American coinage history? Let's find out. First, let's set the historical stage. The Lincoln cent has been one of the most enduring and beloved coin designs in U.S. history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 2003, the design had already been in circulation for nearly a century, with Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse still proudly displayed. The reverse at that time featured the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. The 2003 cent was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the key production sites for U.S. coinage, and billions of these coins were released into circulation at face value. This coin is worth just 1 cent. But here's where things get fascinating. Among the billions minted, a tiny number of coins have stood out due to extraordinary minting errors, unique die varieties, and pristine conditions that set them apart. Error coins are the heart of numismatic treasure hunting, and the 2003 Liberty 1 cent has several known varieties that fuel collectors' excitement. Some of the most notable errors include off-center strikes, double die obverse, die cracks, broad strikes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchets. For example, a 2003 cent mistakenly struck on a dime planchet or nickel planchet can instantly skyrocket in value. Imagine holding a penny that weighs less than it should, appears slightly different, or has parts of the design missing. That's not just a curiosity, it's a fortune in your pocket. Some collectors have even reported dramatic misstrikes where the coin shows doubled lettering, distorted images, or unusual mint marks, making each piece a one-of-a-kind rarity. Now, let's talk about the value and worth. Most circulated 2003 pennies you find in pocket change are worth only their face value. However, in mint state, especially graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, the coin's value can jump significantly. Standard mint state coins can fetch anywhere from $50 to $250, while superb gem examples are known to reach into the thousands. But the legendary error coins, those rare one-of-a-kind mistakes, have sold for astonishing sums at auctions. Some reports claim that extraordinary specimens of the 2003 Liberty 1 cent have been valued at $900,000 and beyond, making them million-dollar rarities hiding in plain sight. The auction stories surrounding modern error coins add even more intrigue. Collectors and investors are willing to pay premium prices for unique varieties, knowing that such pieces not only hold historical significance, but also represent irreplaceable anomalies in minting history. In fact, error coins from modern years like 2003 often surprise the market, because most people assume only old coins can be valuable. Yet, the reality is that even in recent decades, minting mistakes slip through quality control, creating rare coins that send collectors into a frenzy. So, what makes the 2003 Liberty 1 cent coin so appealing? It's a combination of its place in the long Lincoln cent legacy, the Denver Mint's reputation for producing both high-quality coins and occasional dramatic errors, and the thrill of modern-day treasure hunting. With billions struck, the challenge of finding that one special coin hidden among countless ordinary cents adds to the allure. And when a coin as humble as the penny can leap from 1 cent to nearly $1 million in value. The excitement of numismatics becomes undeniable. For collectors, the lesson here is clear. Never overlook pocket change. Carefully inspect coins for unusual weight, doubling in the lettering or date, off-center strikes, or anything that seems off about the design. What might seem like a flawed coin to an untrained eye could actually be a priceless gem.in. Conclusion. The 2003 Liberty 1-cent coin is far more than just a modern penny. It's a piece of American history, part of a century-old tradition honoring Abraham Lincoln, and in some rare cases, it's a gateway to unimaginable wealth. With values reported to start from $900,000, this coin stands as proof that numismatic treasures can be found even in the most ordinary places. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey into coin collecting, always remember that every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story could make you a millionaire. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed learning about the hidden value of the 2003 Liberty 1-cent coin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the fascinating world of coins. Who knows, your next penny might just be worth a fortune.